everyone, today we'll be going over the Blind 75 in TypeScript, and today we'll be focusing on maximum subarray, and without any further hesitation, let's get started. Hey everyone, today we'll be going over the Blind 75 in TypeScript today, and today we're going to be focusing on maximum subarray. Now, before we get started, make sure we have written out all of our 4 questions. We first need to ask ourselves what the input's going to be, what data structure / algorithm to use, what to do with the data, and finally, what our output's going to be. So, for maximum subarray, given an integer array nums, find the subarray with the largest sum and return its sum. So we know in particular, even from just looking at the problem and the question itself, that 1, we have an integer, or let's say an array of integers, indicated as nums. We can even look at the parameters simultaneously. Number, and when looking at the given example for what they're expecting for the input, we have an input of nums already here, which is just integers including negatives altogether, and we have to figure out exactly what the largest sum is for our output. This is what they expect, and the reason being is because, hey, once we have all the following numbers and the possible combinations, we then get our following output, which has the largest number 6, and they also specify an edge case. If we only have a single number inside of our array, we're going to output it, since it is therefore the largest sum. And then we do the same thing over here for example 3. The subarray 5, 4, -1, 7, and 8 has the largest sum of 23. Once we combine all the possible combinations together. So, once we already have done that, our output, maximum integer sum of combinations different numbers in the array. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory, and there is a unique technique that we're going to be doing. It's going to be Kadane's algorithm, which allows us to track the sum of the current subarray. We will divide up our array, so to speak, subarray, but really just keep track of our current sum and update accordingly. So it's like saying, hey, for our base case that we've already stated that we have a max sum initially, but then while we are scanning throughout the rest of the array, we are then going to actually update the maximum sum until we finally return it. So what do we do with the data? First, we need to iterate through our array. We have for loop. We're going to update the current sum. I'm going to update our max sum, which is what we will be returning. So the way we're going to be going about this is that we're going to first have our current sum equal nums of 0. Then we're going to have let max sum equal nums of 0. And the reason being is because arrays typically start with 0. They start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., etc. This is how we first initialize. But really, we're just returning our max sum altogether, which what we'll be doing is that we are going to use dot max to return our max. So for let I equal 1, starting with, because even though we may be starting with 0 to begin with, the reason why we start with 1 is that we're trying to determine exactly what's going to be our next iteration, so we can be able to add up our following numbers directly inside of the array. So I says nums length, iterate up through the array, and then what we're going to do is that we're just going to update max already here, nums I, current sum plus nums of I. Accordingly, then sum is equal to map.max sum current sum right here. Finally, we just got to return max sum. Pretty self-explanatory. Go. So, just gonna run this. Make sure that our syntax and everything in test cases are already running, and it looks like it's good. Now I'm gonna submit. And we are good. So overall, our following solutions time complexity is O of n, where n refers to the size of our given nums array. So that's what n represents. The bigger the array, the more complexity that the higher the complexity the given program will run. While space complexity is also O of 1 because we're not really storing any. We're not really storing anything. We're returning something ultimately. And so yes, this was Max Subarray. Thank you very much for taking time to watch this. If you found this video helpful, be sure to feel free to please like and subscribe. And if you have any other questions as well, please put it in the comment section. And as always, take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.